What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Pride Podcast pregame show, Lions versus Bears. I am your host, Tyler, joined by my main guy, as always, no peer with us, but Mr. Malcolm Hart is here in the building. How you doing, man? Happy New Year's.
Yo, what is going on? It is Lions game day. I am ready. I know you're ready, man. Let's go, man. Let's beat them Bears, man. Let's go, bro.
First game of the 2023
Oh yeah,
calendar
man.
year.
Yeah, man. First, man. Happy New Year's, man.
Happy New Year's.
Happy New
Happy
Year,
New Year's.
man. Happy New Year to everybody, man. We made it to 2023. Everybody get our first dub in 2023, man. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, for all Michigan football fans, I am sorry for what you witnessed last night because
Oof.
that game was rough, man.
Oof.
I know you're not a fan of Michigan, but like Malcolm, just as a neutral fan, like how do you think like Michigan fans feel right now?
Man, you know what? I made a tweet last night just to check up on, the mental health of my Michigan fans. I felt bad. I was rooting for you guys. Rooting for Michigan to pull it out. Because since Bama's not in the playoffs, I wanted Michigan to take it all the way, man. And just seeing how disappointed they were from that loss, man, it sucks. But
Yeah,
a lot of fans what they're saying that they were used to it. I guess that they were saying they're like, you know what, we're used to it. I was like, man, that's tough.
man, like that's probably the first time, if not in ever, it's in a very long time where I've like been emotionally invested to a game where like it's one of those crazy games you watch like and you're like, oh, I can't imagine if my team was in it. I was in that situation yesterday for the first time I think ever in a big game where it's like those emotional roller coasters back and forth. You get a big touchdown, you give up the lead, you're down 19, you're back to a 6-point game. Like it was an emotional roller coaster all game, that Michigan TCU game.
Let me ask you a question, man. What do you think happens with your quarterback? Was this his last game in Michigan? Like,
No, he's only a sophomore. So
he's sophomore, so he'll be back next year.
100% will be there next year. I thought he played well. I mean, obviously, two very costly pick sixes, but yeah, man, the CFP was. If you're just a neutral fan, those were two phenomenal games to watch last night.
They were.
Yeah. All right, let's swing it back to Lions football because this is a spot for Michigan fans to get a second chance, you could say, with your football team. Maybe they could make up your weekend with the Lions dub on the new year. Malcolm, what are the inactives looking for the Lions right now? I'll talk about the Bears right after.
All right. So with the Lions inactives, man. So what we have is guard Coyote Oshika. He's not playing today. Defensive lineman Michael Brockers. This is like his normal position now. Healthy scratch. Now playing today. Defensive lineman Austin Bryant. This brother's seen this spot probably more than anybody. He's not playing today. Safety Deshaun Elliott. This is a huge loss for the Lions because last week without Deshaun Elliott, we kind of felt it. And we're going to see if they made adjustments because he's not playing today. Running back, Justin Jackson. This is a shocker. Was he hurt? I don't think he was.
Yeah, he popped up in the injury report on Friday.
Oh, got it. I thought he was a healthy scratch, but no, he was hurt. So he's not playing today. And guard Ross
Pearson Botcher.
Pearson Barker. Yeah, he's not playing. I don't think I've ever seen him play. But he's not playing today.
He has never played, yes.
No, he has not played.
All right, let's go on to the Bears inactive report. We got a familiar face right here. Quarterback Tim Boyle, inactive for the Bears.
What?
Running back Darrington Evans. Linebacker Sterling Weatherford. Offensive lineman Alex Leatherwood, Alabama boy. Defensive back Baron Borders. Defensive back Michael Ujimoudie. And then offensive lineman Jatiri Carter. Those guys are all inactive for the Chicago Bears. So nothing significant. Claypool's active and Equinemius St. Brown is active. Those were two guys that we were monitoring earlier in the week with their injury report, and they're both active. So they got pretty much full strength the receiving core, but obviously, like we talked about on Wednesday, Jalen Johnson, the star corner, will not be playing this game. He's on injury reserve right now. So it's a big loss for the Bears for sure.
Yeah, so they're healthy in the wide receiving area, but their cornerback room is a complete joke.
Yeah, let's just get into this offense right now because I think this is something I wouldn't necessarily say a bounce back week because the Lions' offense wasn't a huge issue for them last week. The defense could not get any stops, and it just got to the point where the lead was too big for our offense to really get anything going. Run game got completely eliminated, and even when they could run the ball, they couldn't really run it. But I think today is a day where they get back on pace where what they were doing earlier in the year, or at least in this winning streak. And I think they could have a nice field day last game at Ford Field.
Yes, they can, man. And they're wearing those nice jerseys, man. Those nice throwback jerseys. So
Throwback unis, yeah.
I think it's gonna be a huge plus. But yeah, man, I think Jared Goff is gonna have a hell of a day. And that's just my prediction. I think he's gonna have a hell of a day with that banged up secondary, knowing that they're not gonna play any man coverage. They're just gonna play cover 3. Might sprinkle in some cover 2 in there, but that's just an easy day for JG, man. I think he's gonna have a hell of a day. And with the limited pass rush that they're able to bring, I'm just expecting a really big one.
Yeah, I mean, he was pretty good in the first matchup earlier in the year, and I just expect a better version of him today. You're at home, you're in the dome, and obviously we've seen a better version of Jared Goff, especially when playing at home. And last home game of the year, I think they're going to bring out the tricks. And even Dan Campbell, I think, said in a presser earlier in the week, is like, we have to put a show on today. This is the last home game of the year. So, these fans deserve it. And I think they're going to really open up the playbook today. And, they're going to have a lot of fun versus Bears team. And this is a good matchup to have fun for because the Bears are just not a very good football team right now.
Do you think we see a flea flicker?
Ooh. I'll say yes. Yes.
Let's go, man. Flea flicker time. Let's go.
Do you see a flea flicker?
I do, man. I see a flea flicker, and it could be to J-Bo, man. That happens, man. The crowd, people at home, they're going to lose their minds.
I see some type of trick play. If it's a flea flicker or like a wide receiver throwing a pass. Like, remember, I think it was last year, Tom Kennedy threw the touchdown to Khalif Raymond.
Yeah.
Like, I could see something like that. Obviously, Kennedy's not with us right now. He's on the practice squad. But, like, I could see something along those lines where, like, it's going to be some crazy trick play. If that's a flea flicker or, like, a wide receiver throwing a pass, I could see that.
Yeah, I see it too, man. Yo, let me ask you a question. Do you see any scenario where the Bears actually put up a fight and stop this Detroit Lions offense?
I might be sounding ignorant right now, but like I really don't. I don't think there's a good matchup for the Bears. Lions are healthy. They're home. This is a Bears team that like just mentally isn't there right now. I mean, they have lost multiple games in a row, and I don't know. It's just like that time of the year where it's like I don't know what they're really playing for. Obviously, they're playing for jobs next year, but I don't know. I don't really see a good matchup for the Bears here. I think this is a really good match for the Lions.
Yeah. I mean, I know the fans, they're out of it. I mean, they're checked out. The fans, they're thinking about the draft right now. They're in tank mode right now.
They're all like I posted a roast of the Bears earlier in the week on Instagram, and I thought Bears fans would react and like whatever. No, they're like, beat us, please beat us. I'm like, what is this? Like that's not fun. It's not fun when you're telling us to beat you.
It's not fun, man. It's like, you know what? It's like a taste of our own medicine, because that's something that, down the line, Lions fans will say that this is a couple years ago, years ago when we were already out of it. We are just fighting for playoff position, the last couple of games, that's how Lions fans react. They'll say, shoot, beat us. We're trying to get the number 1 pick.
Yeah. And it's like weird because it's a big division game and you like obviously want to win those games, but like I understand the Bears fans to a certain degree too, because like I was kind of like that, like you said too, when like we play the Packers week 17 or week 18 now it is. It's like, I mean, like, do I really want to win this game? Do I want the Lions to really win this game? But I don't know. I find satisfaction always being a division rival, whatever the situation is, honestly.
Me too. But I think we're just wired different.
Yeah.
We don't really care about draft position until the offseason.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there's no need to worry about it right now, like when the regular season's going on.
Nah.
I mean, just like last year. I mean, like the Lions had an opportunity, I think, to get the number 1 pick if they lost that game versus Green Bay, because Jacksonville, remember, pulled that big upset versus Indy.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
they screwed that shit up.
I remember I was at Ford Field for that game, the Lions-Packers game last year, and I'm like, just like with all the fans, it was all mixed like emotions. They're like, "Oh shoot, Jacksonville's winning. We can get the number 1 pick if we just lose this game right now." Like I remember, it was a mixed bag in the stands.
It would have been pointless, man. With the number 1 pick, we'll just pick Aiden Hutchinson.
We ended up getting lucky, yes.
And we got the person we got, so it didn't matter at the end of the day.
Yeah, we got lucky. I mean, I didn't want Trayvon Walker, so
No, I did not want Trayvon Walker.
yeah. All right, let's talk about this Lions defense. And you mentioned it in the inactive report. No Deshaun Elliott, so it looks like if Fatu Melifonwu is going to get another start. They said they like CJ Moore in special teams, so they're going to have Melifonwu starting at safety. How do you feel about that?
I mean, this is his time. I mean, he had his first start last week. I mean, Dan Campbell kind of touched upon it on his presser that this was the first start at safety, and now this second start, they're expecting results now because he this is his first time at safety, so it was probably moving too fast for him, and he probably didn't know what was going on at some points. I don't know, but if this is what they want to do for him. That like they want him to continue to be a safety. He got to show strides, and this is a week that he got to show some type of stride. I mean, to me, man, I still personally don't like the way they handled that whole situation with Iffy. I think the whole moving to safety was a bad idea. I think they moved the wrong guy to safety because I love the way he played corner. When he played corner, he showed flashes that he could be solid. Solid, good, could be great. But they moved him to safety. That's their decision, and he got so something, man. Jerry, what's it called? Had a rough start too when he first started.
Jacobs.
Yeah, Jerry, not Jacobs.
Oh, Kirby Joseph.
Kirby Josephs.
Yeah.
He was really rough, and he was kind of also out there when he first started. But then once after like his second, third game, you saw like huge strides, and he was actually playing the ball, attacking the ball, going for picks. Even though those first games he wasn't getting it, he was still there to break up those plays and almost get those pick sixes. I want to see that type of shit from the Iffy, man. If he gotta make some plays, man. I want to see some huge tackles. I want to see some tackles, key tackles, and I want to see him break up some plays, man. He got to do something, man. If not, man, what are we doing? Why did we move him to safety if he's not doing it?
Yeah, no, you're right. And I was actually going to allude to that Kirby Joseph situation where, it was really rough for me. Remember, we were there in the building for the Seattle game, and I mean, Kirby was probably the worst player on the field, and we've seen major strides since that game. Obviously, there's been some ups and downs, but for the most part, we see the ball skill potential. And like you said, with Melifonwu, this is another opportunity. Got one star under his belt now. This is going to be a second star versus the Bears. What do you have? Are you a safety in this league? Are you going to be part of this team? Because you were playing for a spot next year too. You are nowhere near a job lock next year. Like you were playing for a job next year as well. So this is a big opportunity with the injury to Elliott. And, this is probably the only start he has rest of the year because Elliott is looking like he's turning to come back next week. Campbell was alluding to, Elliott was making strides to come back and he should be good to go in Lambeau next week.
Let me ask you, how do you feel how they handled that whole Iffy situation?
It's I understand it, but like you're right. I think he did show strides as a corner. He's a young player. You probably want to see him grow there. But I think the way they looked at it was that we just had too many guys in that cornerback room as that's what they thought going into the year. Like we had Akuda, we had Jacobs, who else? They had AJ Parker at the time. Like they had some young guys I think they were counting on to fill in that void at corner. And they just feel like didn't see a role for Melifonwu. And I feel like they want to get him on the field. And I think this is probably the best way they thought he can be on the field.
I don't know, man, because still, I mean, it's not like we have four safeties.
You're right. Yeah.
At the beginning of the year, you had Tracy Walker,
Mm-hmm.
and then you had Deshaun Elliott, so he still wasn't going to start.
You're right.
So then you're still wondering, like, how was he going to see the field? Yeah. And they invested a high draft pick on him too, man, to be so uncertain of how they want to use this guy. I mean, I don't know, man. I still to this day, I think they transitioned the wrong person to that safety position because we seen a guy who's.
I say who's the right person in your opinion?
We seen the guy who looked like he could be an elite person that you put him in that box safety. He could be elite. I mean, that brother, his best game as a corner came from a game where he had 13 tackles.
The Cowboys. We're talking about Jeff Okudah, if you guys can.
We're talking about Jeff Okudah. Of course, we're talking about Jeff Okudah, man. Yeah. But his best game as a corner, where everybody's like, wow, his best game came when he had 13 tackles. As a corner, that means absolutely nothing. Mm-hmm. A corner, you don't want your corner having 13 tackles.
No.
But your safety, you want your box safety. If you're playing box safety, you want your safety to have 13 tackles in the box. So, like I said, I think they transitioned the wrong guy. But that's just another topic for another day, man.
I mean, it is what it is. The decision's been made. He's been transitioned to the safety position since the offseason. So, I mean, okay, this is your new position. Like, we have to see strides. And again, this is another opportunity today to see Melifonwu starting. So, you know, maybe give him a pass last week, but here we go. What you got?
How do they stop Justin Fields, man? How do we stop him from running all over us, man? Do you have a formula?
I mean, I don't think there's a way where you completely stop Justin Fields' legs. No team has been able to figure out that formula yet. Um, you just got to contain it and hope it doesn't kill you, right? Like, and that's, I think they kind of found the formula towards the end of the game versus the Bears in that first match in that fourth quarter. You know, after he had that big run in that fourth quarter where they got the lead back, I think the Lions did a way better job of containing Justin Fields. And the situation was a little different where he had to pass the ball more because of the situation we were up, and you know, he couldn't really run the ball as much just because it was going to kill the time, right? But I think they have a better idea this time around compared to the first matchup. You're in a dome, so you don't have the cold excuse of like tackling and stuff like that. So I don't think there's a formula. You just got to be able to contain it. And we talked about in our pregame show, I don't know if a spy is ideally the best case scenario, and they abandoned that spy in that first matchup, and you know, ended up working for them.
Yeah, same here, man. I mean, well, we just got to tackle him because there were a lot of missed tackles, a lot of sacks that we could have had on him that he just spun out of it and
Yeah.
made a play that should have been stopped behind like a sack, turned it into a big yard, a big gain.
Yeah.
So they got to make sure they wrap him up good, man.
For sure, yeah. And like we said, I mean, even that and that last game when we played him, it was the fourth down. Like, it took three guys to tackle him. You remember? Like, he spins out of end
Get
zone.
him down. Get him down.
Yeah, yeah. Spins out of Julian, then Julian ends up finishing it. But
Oh
I think
man,
they kind
Dan
of have the
Miller.
formula to contain Justin Fields to a certain degree. Like I said, you're not going to completely stop him, but you just got to make sure he doesn't kill you.
Yeah. Julian Core, I hope we don't I hope he's not missed this game because he had a huge game
He
when we
did
played
versus
him
the
the first
Bears.
time. Yeah, he did, man. We'll see if his brother could make up for that role, man.
Have they played together?
Julian and Romeo. I don't think so. Not. I don't. Did they? They probably played.
Maybe like a
They
couple
probably
games.
were active on the same on a team like on a game together, but I don't think they like rushed the passer together.
Yeah, as I'm saying, I feel like we've just never seen them together.
Nah,
It's like, the funny part was like when we activated Romeo, we had to place Julian on IR. They're like, and
yeah,
I saw fans are like, they're just the same guy.
yeah, they're just swapping. No, they're not the same guy. They're definitely not the same guy. Romeo's way more explosive. Like he's more powerful. He's more of like a bull rusher to get to the quarterback. Julian just pure speed.
Yeah, for sure. All right, you want to do some picks and head out of here?
Let's go, man.
All right, let's do our Lions pick. This is the biggest favorite, I think, since we've ever done a podcast for the Lions. I don't think the Lions have ever been this heavy of a favorite in going into a game. The Lions are 5.5 point favorites in this game versus the Bears. So the records right now: Pierre's 11-4 in first place, Malcolm's in second place with the 8-7 record. I am in third place with the 7-8 record. Pierre is taking the Lions today. He has them winning. What is the score? He sent it to me. He has them 28-17, and his bold prediction: Swift bounces back, has over 100 rushing yards and 2 tutties. That is Pierre's predictions today. How you feel about that?
I like it. I like it.
Are
And I
you?
think that'll be huge for Swift too, man.
Yeah. Are you also taking the Lions 5.5?
I don't know, man. This against the Bears. This is tough, man.
Tough game, right?
It's tough. Okay, I'm bullshitting. 100% bullshitting. No, this is an easy pick. Going Lions. I have a winning 30. Let's say 30, 37, 17. Is that what you have too, Tyler?
Look at the bottom of my screen.
37-17, man. Let's go, man. 37-17, man. I just think that this is gonna like they got their ass whooped last week. We all saw that.
Yeah.
And this is gonna be a statement game. They're gonna come back and say, hey, we're still here. We're still fighting for the playoffs, and we're still a team that you don't want to mess with. And this is 37-17. Let's go.
All right, Malcolm, I got a quick question before I say my pick. You guys already know it. Taking Lions 5.5, 37-17, right?
Yeah.
All right. Quick question. Now that it's actually game day, now that we're less than an hour away from kickoff, be honest with me. Are you going to be scoreboard watching today in the Commanders game and the Seahawks game?
No, man. I told you
not
I'm not, man. No,
okay.
man. I don't care.
You're sticking to your word.
Bro, I'm not. I do not care about those games right now. Now, if at the end of the day, those teams lose next week, guess what? We control our own destiny and everything is different. But I'm not worried about other teams handling their own business, and we just got to win. All right. At the end of the day, that's what we got to do. We got to handle our business. Let's beat the Bears. Worry about the Bears right now, and then whatever happens, happens, man. I'm good with whatever happens, because if the Lions handle business, win these next 2 games, and they don't get in, you know what? Take my head off. Call it a day, man.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, and bold prediction: Justin Fields under 50 rushing yards.
Under 50 rushing yards. That's bold.
Under 50.
Bold prediction from me. Lions defense or special teams gets a touchdown today.
No, let's go.
That's my bold prediction. We had it last time when we played the Bears. Jeff Okudah pick 6.
Sure did. Sure did. And did he call that one too, or?
I don't know. I might have.
You probably. I think somebody. I remember somebody saying Jeff Okudah pick 6. I remember. It could have been
I
one of the listeners.
don't know if it was that game. I know I've said it before. I just don't know if it was for that game in particular, but it's possible for sure. I remember I was pissed at myself at the bold prediction versus the Jets game because I said the defense was going to get a touchdown. I should have added special teams because Raymond got the punt return touchdown. I should have added that because that's all.
Yeah.
Like I thought there was going to be a touchdown, not from the offense that game. I just said defense, my bold prediction. So I should have said special teams as well. All right, let's get into our locks of the weeks. Malcolm, you were at 9-7 in first place. I'm in second place with an 8-7-1 record, and then Pierre is in last place with a 4-11-1 record. Malcolm, I'm gonna give you the first pick today. Who you taking?
For real? All right. I hope I'm not taking Pierre's, because if I am, I'm gonna have to switch. I need to see who you picked. I'm gonna go New York Giants.
Okay, you're not.
Okay, New York Giants over the Indianapolis Colts, and that's gonna be a 5.5 spread. So the 5.5 spread for the New York Giants to beat Indianapolis Colts. Lock that in. Say doom lock lock that shit in. Let's go.
For playoff people, that is actually not a good scenario for the Lions, but it's not as important. The Commanders and Seahawks game is way more important than the Giants game.
Yeah.
So, but if the Giants lose out, Lions win out, they get a playoff spot. So that's on the table as well. But like you said, they're playing Jeff Saturday in the Colts, so don't really have too much expectations there.
No, me neither.
All right, my lock of the week. I'm going to take the New England Patriots minus 2.5 versus the 2 or less Miami Dolphins, because I think we've seen a different version of this team when they don't have Tua. They're just not a very good football team. Teddy Bridgewater's at quarterback. It's in Foxborough. Don't love this Patriots team, but I think they should be able to pull it out. I like the spread here, so I'm going to take Patriots minus 2.5. And then Pierre is rolling with Jacksonville minus 3 versus the Houston Texans. Trap game right here, Malcolm. Trap game. The spread is too small.
Yeah, why is Jackson? Why is it? Oh, because it's a division game, maybe.
It doesn't matter this game. That's why. That's why I did not touch it. Because Jacksonville could lose this game, and this game has zero mattering to them. Next week is for the division versus the Titans.
Oh wow! So they could still lose this game and still have a chance.
They could lose this game. It has no meaning to it. This game actually means nothing to the Jaguars. So that's the trap game right here. I could see the Texans winning this game. So Bears fans, I think, could get the number 1 pick today if they lose and Houston wins.
That'll be interesting.
We'll see. I don't know if Houston wins, but it's gonna be a close game. I think this is a trap game. Written all over it.
You said you predicted last week? Was it last week? You predicted or a couple weeks ago?
2 weeks ago. Jacksonville versus Dallas.
Yeah. I'm not gonna hold it against you, man. I think you could be right, man.
We'll see. All right. I think that is it. I hope you guys all enjoyed. We will be live on Twitter Spaces right after the game talking about a Lions dub over the Chicago Bears. I am your host, Tyler, and I'm signing out, guys. Peace.
All right, y'all. It's your boy Malcolm, and I am out. Peace.